a challenge to get in the driver's seat. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. And Nikki says, "Good evening, Mehran. Good evening, Nikki." TD says, "Good evening, sir. Male 19 Assam." Hello, TD. Good to see you here. Gavin says, "Nothing to me. I'm disappointed. I thought it's going to say hello, Mehran." It says, "Nikki, you always beat me." There we go. How you doing, Gavin? Good to see you guys here. 9 of us here, 4 of us like us, 5 of us don't. That's terrible. Uh, Nikki says, "By the way, congrats at getting a 93 on your..." Oh, I see. Gavin, that's for you. Yes, Gavin's done great. 93. That's pretty darn good, isn't it? You know, it's how interesting. It's pretty interesting that when you score high on some exam, you pretty much never forget it. You may forget the stuff, but not the score that you got. I still remember grade 6 elementary. I had to take my mathematics exam again. I didn't get enough score at the end of the school, so I had to, during the summer, I had to study and had one more chance to take that exam over, or I would be left behind. So of course I studied very hard, and my aunt, my father's sister, was a experienced teacher, and also at one time in her career she was the principal of school, and of course her specialty was math. So sure enough, she worked with me all that summer, and lo and behold, the top score was 20. That's the different scoring system there, and I got 20. Just no mistakes. Nailed it. I only needed, what, 10 to pass? I got the top score that was possibly. And I had never, ever gotten that kind of a score in any math, ever. And that was supposed to be the final, very important to me at the time. She really did a good job teaching me stuff. I really learned it. She was a great teacher. And of course, she's not with us for a long time now. All right, now we have Gavin says, "Hello, Mehran." Hello, Gavin. And Rolling On says, "Hi, Mehran. Hope your night is going great." So far, so good. I had the urge of eating so much at dinner. I don't know why, but I had bought some, goodies, and I couldn't wait for the goodie time to come. So I just ate some of that and some of that and then some of that. And I think I have not even noticed how much I've eaten. I had breaded fish, halibut, about 3-4 pieces, yay big, with lemon. And then I had breakfast burrito, lots of potatoes in it. I gorged on carbohydrates. I never do. I always eat either vegetables or, my carbs come from vegetables and, or just have protein. So I had that, and then I had a couple of turkey frankfurters, turkey sausages, while I was having the burrito. I can't imagine what was getting into me. Then, after that, I had an orange this big, like a bloody watermelon. These are so big. So I may fall asleep right here while I'm talking. So if you saw that, just don't mind me. So that's been my day. Of course, it was busy before that. Certain things I had to do for my mom, and phone stuff and bank stuff. So I guess maybe after I'd done all those, the eating was like celebrating that I was useful. Gavin says, "Mehran, I was so sick to my stomach, worrying that I'm almost threw up. I was super stressed out. I'm not sure why that stress, but it boosted my confidence for sure. Oh, for the test, you mean? Yeah, you kind of, the negative mind goes, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't do this? What I need to have that. You just go on with, you create that anxiety when really, let's wait and see what happens. There's nothing else I can do now. I'm here. So now I'm just going to relax so my faculties work well, and then I can pick up the things that I might have glanced on it, not really studied it, but it could reflect if I relax. If I'm tense, it will be difficult to see this stuff. Obviously, it worked for you, so good. Rolling on says one of two, says, when relationships, marriage goes for 7 or 10 years, how does it feel? Are we still in love with the person, or we have to logically say yourself that we still need to love her? Well, it depends on how you started your love. Most of the time, the thing that you guys call love is lust. You see a girl, you like a girl, she looks pretty, and and the rest of it. But you never really knew her. And during the time from that first time you guys meet to that 7 or 10 years that you say, there's ample time to focus on what you're building rather than, am I still turned on? Because I don't care what you are, even if you're, I don't know, wild stallion in the forest or desert, I haven't seen a woman for so long, or, a mare or whatever that animal species female would be, you will be different than you would be 2 months down the road having been with her. It's just, if you want to count on the quality of your relationship based on the excitement and sexual tension, well, then might as well forget about the relationship, because it's going to go downhill. Because once you get familiar with each other, that mystery is over, then you'll get used to seeing each other's physical appearance every day and sleep together every night. Then eventually that mystery is gone. Therefore, that sexual tension is not the same as before. That's normal. So if that's all you had for your relationship and connection and bonding, you're doomed. That's not going to work. You guys are going to get divorced or break up. But if you use the time that you were excited about each other and physically enticed and trying to, be good to each other, learn about each other, you use that time, that period, before you become really familiar with each other, to actually learn and interact and understand why you're here in this relationship, what you're trying to build, based on the fact that the initial time you spend is going, or it's gone, and now you're beginning to learn about each other and become more familiar with each other. If you use that time to get acquainted mentally and on consciousness level, then you begin to see the efforts that you each make towards making the other person's life easier, support each other, challenges that you can help each other meet. All of that creates the bond that would then deserve the love that you're talking about, that you thought you had at the beginning only by physical interaction. So in other words, depends really what you've done in that 7 or 8 years or 10 years. If you've used it to get to know each other and trust each other, support each other, be there for each other, be unselfish for each other, then you have created that amazing deservant of loving each other, respecting each other, wanting to do good thing for each other. Then that's love. Then you guys are starting to fall in love. But if you think love is when you really turned on a girl, it's being turned on a girl. And you think you love because you're willing to give everything you got just to be with her, because you really don't even know her. Once you know her, you might actually say, shit, What the hell is this? I don't care how pretty you are. I can't stand that mentality. I can't stand that view of life. I can't stand that your inability to deal with the challenges of life. And you're not resilient at all. You can't come along this journey with me. And you're just a dead weight. That could be your assessment afterward. But before you actually get kind of familiar physically, you may think of each other as the world. Oh, she's the smartest. And why? Because you just can't think. You just want what you want, which is what you're programmed to want. Heterosexual male loves women, and you just want to be with her and have the intimacy experience with her. And you can't go any further than that. You can't even think any further than that. Once you have gone through that, and that's no longer clouding your judgment or your vision of who this person is, and you focus on her behavior, her mentality, her values, her judgment, her ability to cope with life and everything else, then you'll decide if that's a match or not. And then from then on, you can proceed to see if that's going to turn out to love or not. Otherwise, just being with someone or being turned on with someone, that doesn't mean that she's the right match, or it's going to be love, or it is love between you two. All right. And then 2 of 2 says, since the high feeling oxytocin would be gone by then and would turn to our baseline, I know the beginning years of relationship is wonderful. Male, 33, Texas. Well, I guess I responded that already. Okay. And Rolling On says, Nikki says, I felt like eating more today, too. There are days when I don't want to eat at all, and days where I want to eat everything. I don't know, these days I'm feeling like I need to eat a little bit more, maybe because I've lost so much muscle and all that, and I need to kind of feel a little bit back into... Because I can go on without really eating much, like I forget that, hey, listen, you remember how you used to go to the gym and I would come home and eat, so on and so forth? Now you don't, so you don't feel like eating, but you gotta eat if you want to keep them. So anyhow, that's probably whatever it was, that's what it was. Let me turn this down. Okay, and Rolling On says, I always eat a lot. Yeah, normally we do, but you guys are much younger, and but I feel like I've been too careful in eating, and I need to eat a little bit of junk, like not junk, but you know, more carbs and things like that, which anyhow, that was my day. We're getting to nutrition now. Sagata says, male 31, India. Hello, Sagata. And Rita says, hi, room. Hello. Rita says, female 39, New York City. Maestro Sensei says, I have an annoying to me matter. My ex has my things from when we used to live together. How long has it been since you guys stopped seeing each other? And didn't deliver them to my office. Said he would by March 30th. But I think COVID delayed it, probably. I haven't spoken to him in 3 months. How do I get my things back? Well, text him. Text him. If you're comfortable with COVID, I'd appreciate if you could deliver the boxes or things to my office. Or something nicer, like, I hope you're well and COVID-19 has not caused you too much trouble. And if you get around to it, I would appreciate it if you could have this stuff delivered to my office. Don't say bring him, just have the stuff delivered to my office. So that's kind of more respectful. And that should be enough. And yeah, that would be good enough. Pleasant, yet to the point, and not linger in the conversation. Gavin says, Mehran, is it okay to not want to be with anyone and not looking for it? I am curious about life and experiences. I think about my future, but don't see myself getting married. I see career experiences. Well, that's fine. But don't think just because this is what you think, this is how it's going to be. But accept the fact that this is how you feel right now and you want to focus on your career and experiences in life, and do that. But don't make it like, oh, then I shouldn't change this ever again. No. There'll be a time they say, okay, I've done this career, I've done this experiencing, I really want a girlfriend, I miss all that, and then you do. So, yeah, perfectly fine and perfectly normal. And Gavin says, curiosity and much more. I guess I'm okay with not finding anyone and being happy. Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. That's perfectly normal. Many people do that. It just depends on how they felt about the experiences in relationship and where they are in their life, what they want to accomplish, and what's really important. They've seen the light that is not end all be all thing if you have a girlfriend, but it's always nice to have. But if it's going to be detrimental or negative toward accomplishing what you want to accomplish, then you put that off for a while and just date once in a while, but don't expect anything. Just go on a date, or at least socialize, so at least you will have that. Otherwise you'll feel like you're thirsty in the desert and you end up settling with anything. Like you get a girlfriend that you really wouldn't have looked twice as far as any qualification, but you would settle with her because you're hungry. Like you haven't been socializing, you haven't been around girls, and then you just all you just want, and you find yourself infatuated with some woman that you have no business really finding that sort of mentality in your roster of your interested qualifications. But you do, because you're hungry, and you shouldn't let that get there. So do socialize, even in a group, and just be yourself, and sometimes go on a date if opportunity arises, but doesn't have to be a relationship, just a date. So at least you're around, that socializing aspect of the, being around females, so you won't feel like, oh, I have to, settle with something. I really need to be in contact with women. So get that going, so you won't choose out of, being desperate. It affects your judgment. Eugene Roche. I hope I didn't butcher your name. That's the first time. You're here for the first time, aren't you? Says, so nice to catch you live. Thank you for helping me get through my breakup. You're quite welcome, Eugene. I've seen your name, Eugene, but I don't remember the last name. I wonder if it's been comments on the videos or you've been on the live streams before. Whichever it is, don't forget the protocol for live streams. If you look up on Sagata, it says male 31 India. That's M for male, 31 age, India where he comes from. And any other part, like you click lower, if you look at rolling on, and he has another code, which, damn it, he doesn't. Rolling on, you don't have your credentials, no soup for you. So anyhow, it's gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. That gives me a little info on you. And Rita says, our last communication was not pleasant. Doesn't matter. You simply say, hello, so-and-so. Hope you and yours are well. You and yours are well. And I hope you haven't forgotten. I appreciate my stuff to be, if you could have them delivered to my office. Thank you or I appreciated, something like that. So doesn't matter if it wasn't pleasant, but that's what you want. So be diplomatic to get it. Cartoon says male 29 India. Good morning from India. Good morning again. Oh yeah, this is good. This is the right timing. That's right. Rolling on says I do. It's in my comment. Is it? Is it rolling on? I thought so. You usually do that, but where the heck is it? Ah, at the end of it. Mail 33 Texas. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, just like the rolling on does Mail 33 Texas. And that helps out. Who was I telling this to? Eugene, I think. Where is it? Yeah, Eugene. So there are 10 of us here, and one shrunk, 9, and 9 likes. That's pretty good. Leo the Lion, male 27, Leo, Seattle, Washington. Says, hello, Mehran. Hope you had a fantastic day. Is it weird that I find your voice soothing and calming? No, actually not. I guess I have that kind of a voice. I've heard that maybe not a million times, but lots of times from all kinds of sources. If I call to make an appointment with someone's office and the secretary picks up, and it has happened a few times that at the end she says, may I say something? I say, yes. She says, you have such a whatever voice. So, and then on my answering system, people make comment that that's a very upbeat and very good greetings, and they enjoy the tone of it. And many others fall asleep with watching my videos because of my voice puts them to sleep. So all my videos supposed to say, please do not watch or listen while driving. So it's not. It has that kind of, I don't know what it is. I don't notice it. I don't think of it any different. But many clients, many people, many friends, they've mentioned that. Just the way it is. I don't know. But anyhow, I'm delighted that you enjoy the videos, and the voice is not distracting or disturbing your ears. That's better than the other way around. Leo says, I have fell asleep to some of your videos. I know. You have. Even I have. Sometimes when I'm watching my own videos and listening to them, I'm resting on the couch maybe, or lying down, sleeping time. So I say, okay, I'll listen to this. Seems to be interesting. I don't remember what I said. And sure enough, sitting on the couch or laying down, just find myself, oops, the video is going and I just woke up. So maybe I should market that as a tranquilizer or sleeping pill. And rolling on says, I was watching a video from J. Krishnamurti today, and but I feel I am not able to understand the message properly. It's too advanced for me. Yeah, that's why I've done the work for the past 7 years, and pondering. It's like you know every corner of your brain, what it does, how they affect each other, the fear, the ego, the desire, the thoughts, consciousness, conditioning, rhythm, order, and really in trouble in life. Well, you got to understand that this is no different than your, I don't know, your feet. It has a function. So it can malfunction, it can not work well, but you have to make a judgment where it goes, what it does. In your case, in case of here, what it thinks. If what it thinks and what it's suggesting is of any use to me, is any relevance to me, it's an apparatus. Use it as a tool, not as representation of you. This is not you. Brain is not you. You're not the brain. Thoughts are not you. You're not the thoughts. And once you understand that, you begin to start the journey in freedom rather than in bondage of confinement to what you've been conditioned by the society through your childhood and upbringing, limited your understanding to what this shows up or thoughts show up here is facts. It's not. It's just garbage, nonsense. But you've treated it as if it's, so therefore you now believe it. It's no different than having created a statue and then worshiping it. No different. You created a statue and you gave it powers, and then you ask it for favors and health and all the magical and miracles that you expect, whether it's about you, your health, or crops and harvest and all that. You made that statue and gave it that power by your thoughts. And then the actual thought, every thought that you believe in it is exactly like what you've done to that statue. You have made that statue as if it's fact, truth, and it's got supernatural powers. And you believe thoughts that show up here as if it is a deity. It has a mandate, suggestion, and it has facts and truth based. No difference than this, than that. You just turned this into a physical shape for you to see it, visualize it, and see it physically, and then interact with it just as you interact with thoughts that appear in your head. You believe them, you think them, that they're supernatural, that they have some supernatural intelligence, or they have an intelligence. You treat them as if they're intelligence. They're not. They're just like that dumb statue. But you put your thought into it, and you have projected a certain character to it, and now you're believing what your thought made that to be, and now you're believing your own thoughts. Now, in the case of thoughts, it's just there's no statue. You're just directly believing thoughts. It's just biggest bullshit and bamboozling apparatus that you could ever find. You're not supposed to believe thoughts, because it is no different than the, 1,000 years ago, they started making statues and believing it as it's God. Believing what? Your own idea is truth? And that's not even your own idea. It's an idea, because brain is thought manufacturing plant. It's got lots of ideas and bullshit and nonsense and images and ideas pop up into it. It's just like you keep making statues out of rock and chisel them and say, oh, that's the God, that's a God. Old days they would go to market and buy gods. Oh yeah, it's pretty, it's cute, okay, that's a God. Then I'm going to ask him, please, I'm going to pray to you. It's that they're praying to their own thoughts, that they're putting the idea in their own thoughts about that stone being some supernatural power. Now, take that stone and rock away, a statue away. You're doing the same thing with every thought that shows up in your head. You give it a power, a supernatural power. It's wisdom. It's intelligence. It knows more about me than I do. It's got something from out there that it knows. What does it know? It can know shit. You watch my videos from number 1 to number 20, you'll see what I've discussed, what thoughts are and what your relationship with them are. Then you begin to see the light and start living life free. Freedom from mind, freedom from thoughts. That's what I have to say about that. And where was I? Gavin says sometimes my mom and brother put me down. Yeah. My mom has compared me to others and my brother all my life, yes. She never validated me and always made me feel like I couldn't achieve anything in my life. Is your brother the firstborn? And Gavin says, I hate it. She's not a bad mom, but it sucks having family think that about you instead of supporting you. Yeah, well, listen, parents are parents, but they're not necessarily uh, thinking it the way that today's the way that other people would actually think. They only behave in the way that the limit of their understanding is, that this is what makes such difference in a child or such effect on a child, and this is going to make a different effect on the child. They don't think it. They just think whatever they're doing is they're making the decision for the child without considering what real effect it has on the child itself. And if the mother and father are not coordinated, they can really create challenges. And that's important for them to realize that. So don't expect too much from them just because they're parents. That doesn't mean they know much. They may not, and probably they don't. They're doing what they've been taught by their parents. They're raising you pretty much the same, maybe a little different. So you learn, and you don't, you be mindful of that when you have a child. And I wonder if your brother is the firstborn. There it is. Yeah, he's firstborn and super successful. Yeah, well, that's what usually happens. The mothers often have the firstborn as their god, because that is a time their whole life changes. They become a different person, and they have now witnessed to a certain miracle of life, and this child has been instrumental to that, and you will always could be a second fiddle. As much as they love you, but it'll always be something that if you're better than them, they won't even mention it, because to them that could be a disrespect to their deity, and their deity is the first child. So don't worry about that. That's a natural thing that a parent may do, mostly a mother, because it has a physical interaction with them when the child is born, and it's the first time and all that. So be cool about it. She loves you quite a bit. It's just that she has this amazing feeling about the firstborn. It has nothing to do with your being amazing or great person, or nothing to do. It just has to do with the fact that that was her first experience of giving birth, and having that grow in her womb. And that's okay. I understand that. That's perfectly fine. Doesn't take anything away from you, and she means she hasn't, shortened in any kind of a love or service from you. But just when it comes to crunch, they may prefer that person to have, it's okay to give him one more, maybe, slice of potato chips or something. That's what I'm trying to. It's nothing major, but they don't want to be derogatory about their firstborn as much as they would be on the second one. They could be derogatory for the firstborn too, but hardly. Especially if the first one had a little bit of a challenge, health challenge, then it becomes even more precious to them. So, be cool about it. That's all right. It's how some mothers behave when they have a couple of children, and happens to be two of them same gender. So if you have a brother, the brother is the first one, he's gonna get a little bit of a special treatment, and that's okay. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, some idiot is smoking. Let's see. All right. Rolling On says, I wonder, a few generations down the concept of marriage will go away, and people just choose to stay in monogamous relationship instead. Also, it will make life easier if it doesn't work out. Well, it's true. I can understand that and I can see that. The challenge would be children. It'll be easy for them to switch partners and go on, but that's going to be hard for the children that constantly going to be a child from here and then the child from that one and a child from that one, and they keep moving on, and that's the thing. That's why you either get married and have children, or you get married, don't have children. If you get married and have children, you got to make it work for the child, and don't have hanky pankies on, come up with all kind of nonsense that I got to go find myself, or I got to do this, or I'm not satisfied. Then you shouldn't have wanted to have a children. You should have thought of it beforehand. Once you have children, you guys better stick it and make it work. That child comes first. All right. Rolling on says, but I think it would bring complications if they have kids. There you go. Then breaking off would be, there you go. Now you got it. And Michigan would be Michigan. Tarun, India, 19 male, $1 million information. Okay. And Gavin says, yeah, he's firstborn and super successful. Yeah, okay. Don't worry about how successful he is. Just focus on how you enjoy your life and get the kind of success you want, and don't compare yourself. Let them do the comparison. You don't have to do that. It's been done already, so don't worry about it. So don't compare yourselves. And Gavin says, my dad passed away at young age. Oh, yeah, well then. It's why I look up to you. Oh, Gavin. Thank you. And Taran, India, 19 male said, sir, same story. I also have big brother. My parents always say me like I'm nothing in front of brother. But I love them. Yeah, of course. They don't really mean it. They will do everything possible to help you, and if there's some problem, if you're ever in danger, they will just protect you and they will love you, and it's just between you two. Yeah, okay. They have got a little bit of a more thing for him, maybe. And they don't say they do, and they don't think they do. They actually think they're being equal and all that, but yeah, and that's okay. I'm trying to tell you that's all right, because who's a mother? Is a human being before she's a mother, and so she's subject to being a human being. So it's not like just because a parent they're gods. Yeah, it looks to us that they're gods, but once we grow up, you see, but they were not gods. But to what we were, they were doing everything for us, providing food, shelter, protection, everything. So that was the meaning of God for us at that age. And later on, you realize that they were doing whatever they were doing based on the information and the education they had. So expecting so much now from them, when then yourself were so small, you couldn't do anything for yourself, and they did everything. And now trying to antagonize them, maybe not so fair, even though you could expect them to have done better. That's fine, but you do better for when you have a kid. Let's focus on appreciating them, and let's focus on how we can enhance what we learned and how they raised us when we have children. And that's how you should think. Otherwise, it's always easy to, antagonize somebody. But if you were there where they were, with the limitations of, information, education, money, facilities, provisions, it would have been a challenge for you as well. So consider what they had and what they've done with what they had. What were the challenges when they were trying to serve you and raise you? And then you could appreciate what they've done more. And then you can see if they did do enough or they didn't. considering their situation. Tarun says, sir, we said that. Okay. Tarun says, yeah, you're right. Okay then. So we are 43 minutes in. We've got another 20 minutes to go. Look, tonight we only have 9 people. What's going on? You don't have to have an account to be able to participate, right? You can just come in and participate. You can watch, but you may not be able to write a comment if you don't have an account, right? So we may actually have more people watching. No? What does it tell you guys when you're seeing the live stream? It says how many people watching? Does it say also 9, or does it say like more, but the ones who make a comment are 9? Rolling on says, Mehran, why do we have so much attachment towards our parents? Is it nature of nurture? You don't see this in animal world. Mother protects and takes care of their children, but once they are adult, they move on. Yeah. Well, that's why we are not animals. we have that attachment because not every animal they live in pack. We're social animals. We live in pack. We like to protect our kind. The animals, they don't necessarily protect each other when a danger comes. Everyone on its own. Unless they're wolves, I guess. But we do. That's one of the differences. Gavin says, thank you, Mary. You're quite welcome. Gavin says, I go to make tea, realize I'm out. Have you ever been to tea store like Tivana? We don't have Tivana here, but we have tea stores. Right across the street, there's David's Tea. They've got all kinds of teas. But then the stores right now, they've got hundreds kind of teas, really. It's all description written on it, what it is, what it's not. Tarun, India 19 male says, where's your stick, sir? Call them live. We want more watching. Yeah, call them with the stick. They may escape. See, this is a rough neighborhood here. Sagata says 9. Yeah, okay, then I can only see 9 too. So you guys see what I see. Rolling on says, yes, you can watch without an account, but you cannot comment. Right now, 9 watching. Yeah, so that's the question. Guys, don't you think it's weird? I know we had this discussion before, but it is weird, isn't it? I have put 2 ads on Facebook. And one of them was the 2-minute one. One of them was a 59-second one. This is one of them. And this one, which I don't know how many of you have seen this. You might have. This is a 47-second one. And collectively, they have been shown to over 20,000 people, and we've had 165 clicks on it. That they actually clicked and came onto the channel. But we're still 6 of us here. We're even shrinking here. There is something wrong. I can't get it. It's not possible. Neither for the number of viewers on the videos, that they stop at 90, 60, 100, 120. Even though it meets every criteria for a little short video to go viral, it still doesn't. Up to 400 or 500 it stops. So I don't know. And now look, with all that advertisement and that many clicks, that means more people are aware that we have a live stream. We have 6. And 12 likes. That means 12 people came and gone and they liked us. And Rolling on says, excuse me, eating too much is catching up with me. Says, but attachment is different between different cultures, so that makes me wonder if it's really natural or it's something we were taught. Yeah, it is different. Most North American families, they, at least when I was growing up in States, like when I was almost 18, that's when I went to university in States, I could see a huge difference between the way the kids were treated with their families, and they were expected to be pretty much out of there by age 18, 19, and get a job and live on their own, unless they were going to expensive school and they had money and so on. And but that was the general expectation, versus some other cultures, they take care of the child, daughter or son, doesn't matter, forever if they have to. And they try to ask them to stay with them as long as possible. I don't know, it's just cultural, I guess. And Gavin says we always have over 20 people during daytime. Yeah, we do, don't we? We have good numbers. Sagota says 6. Yeah, 6. Sagota says they're leaving. Yeah, I know. They're leaving. Who knows why? Maybe we're not so exciting. And Gavin says, Mehran, I think Rolling On is going to come out with books soon. He has good questions. Lol. Keep it up, Rolling On. Sagota says, time for you to go for a walk. They're leaving and you're yawning. Lol. Yeah, I know. But I think after that, I will just chill for a cup of tea and watch a little program of something, and maybe nap for 15 minutes. And then by about 9:30, I go for a walk. I went last night. That's good. Tyrone India 19 male says, sir, can I suggest one small thing for your video? Yeah, of course. Go ahead, please. Gavin says, how long is your walk? Well, I think it's about maybe, I'd say maybe 6 kilometer, 3 kilometer going and 3 kilometer coming. I think that's what it is. I'm guessing. It takes about, if I go fast, it'll be like, if I really go fast, it'll be like an hour, just a little bit over. Like if I just go boom fast walk, and don't, enjoy watching, or I don't know, pondering or slow walking. But the way I go these days could take an hour and a half. And because at the end I also sit in front of the ocean and I don't know, watch something on my mobile, or ponder, look at the stars, just think, enjoy, meditate. If I do all that, it'll be like 2 hours. And Rolling On says, maybe one day I continue Mehran's teaching. Why not? Of course. Everyone can do that. Every one of you can do that. And Tarun India 19M says, sir, add hashtag in your videos. When some search about breakup, your video will be there. I did lots of hashtag. If you look at my old one, new ones, yeah, I don't have any hashtag because I kind of forgot or gave up, or I don't know, got fed up, or I just didn't pay attention. But most of them, if you look, they all have hashtag. Breakup, life coach, Mehran, or OCD, HOCD, or something. They all have hashtag, but a bunch of them they don't. I agree. But if you look at the, most of them they should have, or at least the ones that I got to them. And eventually I said, okay, there's too many, 1,700, I can't do all of them. So I did the major ones, the ones that I thought they're most popular. And thank you for that, Tarun. Appreciate it. Rolling on says, Mehran will be like J. Krishnamurti for me. Far from it. J. Krishnamurti was very special. But I like to learn more. That's why when you get to a certain level of understanding, and also with the fact that one could also be just that nature of pondering and figuring out things and believing for discovering things. Like in chess, my father was a great chess player, like one of the great chess players. He would play with maybe 10, 20 people at a time. And he pulled a draw with a grandmaster. He was a great chess player. But he had read so many chess books. And I remember he would etude them, he would exercise them, would read them, and go through the motions and analyze them. And they were really serious, especially him and his friend, like my uncle, that they were into it, and they were always competing as we were growing up. And so we learned chess, but I learned it by here, not by education, like by reading all those openings and so on and so forth and learning them. Eventually, at one point, I had to study a few openings that I really liked, but the rest of them, I had learned it because of analyzing, figuring out what it happens if I don't do this, don't do that. So through trial and error, I became a good chess player at my level at the time. At one time, I was pretty good. So my specialty was that I never thought there is no answer. I never thought there is no solution to that attack. And I always did find pretty much some way to escape from the attack that was being executed on my king. So that mentality for me was to ponder, to discover, to figure out things that they don't exist. That's why in my life I had very much interest in inventing things that they didn't exist. And I designed them, brought them to life. The ideas that were not necessarily so obvious. So when you have gotten that kind of a mentality, and then when you get onto a topic of highly interesting topics, such as how this is put together and how this makes us feel and act and react the way we do. What are the components here? What are the relationship between them? How do they go weird and wacko and rogue? And how can we understand them? And in understanding them, we must also understand our strong points and also the limitations of this, and also the possibilities of malfunctioning. Also understanding how this is put together, just as we understand how our body is put together and how it malfunctions and its problems are, this also has the same capabilities and same limitations. We got to learn. The more we learn. So for that reason, when I stumbled on Mr. J. Krishnamurti's teachings, it was second nature. That's what I can discover, explore into. So for me, I was able to explore into it, dive into it, and try to understand. Well, if I didn't understand it, I watched the video 10 times, every word, and ponder it inwardly. How does it make sense? What does it mean? So it took a while, but because of the interest and then abilities to, because of learning in meditation and other things and mind and body coordination, other understanding of the psyche and the movement of mind and our connection with the universe and energy and so on, I was able to maybe have some different way of delivering it, which would make it maybe easier to understand in some ways. But I'm never compared to him. I don't think so. But I try. Roland says, and I will come live stream and help grasshoppers. Yeah. Yeah, you must have seen Kung Fu, yeah? Grasshoppers. Young grasshoppers. Yes. And Gavin says, Mehran, can we have live chat on beach one day during the daytime? Well, hopefully if the channel makes money and the world goes to normal, it would be ideal if we can have a retreat one day, you know. Everybody saves some money and then we all coordinate and meet in Hawaii. I don't know, for a week or two or whatever that people will be able to arrange. And maybe they come in different waves if we have enough of them. So 1 week and the others leave and the others come. So we have maybe an ongoing discussion for a couple of weeks of the year. That would be good. And Gavin says, do you play chess? Yeah, I do, but I haven't played for a long time, but I still would enjoy it if, you know, I could still get by. My ranking is not as how it was. I think my highest ranking at one point, I don't know, 1800, 1900. Pretty much. But that was pretty good without reading all those books. So David Mail 25 Dallas says hello. Hello David. Says looks like it will be adios too. Yeah, soon enough. Oh, we bounced back, guys. We went down to 5 and bounced back to 11. Rolling On says yes, that would be great. Rolling On says I'm in. Yeah. Let's fry the fish that we have in front of us. Let's see if we can bring the 10 to 1,000 first, and then we maybe start going somewhere. All right, guys, it's 1 hour and 45 seconds. As we agreed, we're going to keep it to an hour and somewhere in that vicinity, in that area. So this is time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. It was enjoyable, and I hope that you enjoyed as much as I did. I look forward to talk to you again maybe tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. Vancouver time, or tomorrow night, if possible, at 8 p.m. Vancouver time for different time zones. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.